Good evening, live from Storm Center 2. I'm meteorologist Brad Spackwitz. Here's Snow Tracker. Not much going on. Maybe a few flurries there across central Wisconsin and down into portions of Fond du Lac, Marquette, and Green Lake counties. That's about it for the time being. But notice to the further south, down near Madison, some snow near Milwaukee, even a little bit of freezing rain thrown in for good measure right along the Wisconsin-Illinois border. That is the far northern fringe of that storm we've been talking about since the middle of last week. Now, it looks like we'll have a little bit of a close call here. We'll have to watch carefully. Fond du Lac and Sheboygan counties, maybe you get just a little bit of light snow overnight. The rest of us tonight should be okay. The storm passes by to our south. So, not a bad first forecast for your Monday. Despite some morning clouds, you'll enjoy a good deal of afternoon sun. Your high should be right around 30. I should point out, though, there's another storm later in the week. That one might not miss us. We'll tell you more about that coming up in this half hour. So stay right there. This late edition of Action 2 News starts right now.
This is Action 2 News at 10. Coverage you can count on.
Hundreds of protesters are staying put in the Wisconsin state capitol tonight, despite plans to close the building and return to normal business hours.
But we know that people feel strongly about staying. We are not going to kick them out right now.
Because we want to continue the dialogue, and we feel like this building is really a symbolic place to do that.
The situation at the state capitol tops this late edition of Action 2 News. Good evening. Capitol Police say they will not kick out the hundreds of protesters inside the state capitol tonight. Police had planned to close the capitol at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Crews were expected to clean overnight before the building reopened tomorrow morning for normal business hours. But when that 4 o'clock deadline rolled around, protesters said they weren't going anywhere. Many of them have been staying in the building since February 15th, protesting Governor Walker's proposal to strip most state and public workers of nearly all their collective bargaining rights. Sarah Cronenberg has more about the decision to let those protesters stay.
So we have really good news. We're going to be able to stay the night here tonight.
Several hours after the Capitol was supposed to clear out, the protesters who stayed behind were allowed to stick around.
I'm spending the night here.
I think this is the best policy, best way of dealing with this issue.
Dealing with the protesters, the ones who said they weren't moving.
And when they ask us to leave, we will refuse, and if they say they will arrest us, I will put out my hands, be arrested, and calmly walk away.
But it never came close to that. Police say the crowds were cooperative, so they could stay.
It's about civil rights, and I feel really strongly that we have to stand up for that, stand up for our right for free speech, and our right to be in this building.
So the cleaning crews will work around them, taking care of the mess that's built up over the last 2 weeks, while the protesters stay for another night.
This is the people's building. This is the Capitol, our Capitol, my Capitol, your Capitol, the people's. And there's no way that if we're protesting that a governor can shut this down.
Hundreds of people did leave the Capitol when it was supposed to close at 4, and many of the ones we spoke to say they will be back here first thing in the morning when the doors reopen again. In Madison, Sarah Cronenberg, Action 2 News.
And Governor Walker says the 2 weeks of protests in the state capitol haven't swayed his resolve to go through with his budget repair plan. The bill is currently on hold in the state legislature. The Assembly passed it, but the Senate cannot hold a final vote until at least one of the 14 Democratic senators returns from Illinois. They left the state to prevent a vote on the measure. Today on NBC's Meet the Press, the governor reiterated his call for the return to Madison.
But in the end, I believe that at least some of those state senators will come back. If we fail to pass this bill by Tuesday, we lose $165 million worth of savings. If we continue down that path, we start seeing layoffs. I know that was one of the most difficult decisions I ever had to make when I was a county official, was considering layoffs. I would go to almost any ends to avoid that. And my hope is at least one of those 14 state senators feel the same way.
And recapping the latest developments in Wisconsin's budget battle, hundreds of protesters are spending another night in the Capitol, despite plans to close the building and return to normal business hours tomorrow. Capitol Police say they continue asking the protesters to leave voluntarily, but they are not forcing them out, and they have not made any arrests. Governor Walker says those protests have not changed his mind and says he still wants lawmakers to pass his budget repair bill as is. The governor is expected to release his full budget on Tuesday. Nearly 2,000 people turn out for the Oshkosh Corporation Job Fair today, hoping to snag one of the 750 potential positions. The company says it could be adding hundreds of welders and assemblers to its defense division after winning a number of government contracts in recent months. Takiono has the story.
The line might not look too long from the outside.
Yeah, we were all over there, and then we rounded the corner. I was like, yes.
But what you can't see from out here is this. Hundreds of people in this room alone.
We're probably waiting in line for about 4.5 hours.
All waiting for an interview.
Eric Frisky?
In hopes to become one of the several hundred new hires at Oshkosh Defense.
Well, I tell you, we feel pretty privileged to be able to provide good jobs for a lot of unemployed people and people that are currently employed, and maybe they get a chance to upgrade to a better paying job with Oshkosh Corporation.
The job fair attracts people from many walks of life.
I was actually an at-home mom, actually with my son, and just ready to get back into the work field.
Very excited about starting to make some more money and get back on my feet again, because I was living off of my savings, and which gets depleted pretty fast.
The end result, though, isn't always a good one, but many say it was still worth a try.
It's better to try than not. At least this way I know what I have to work on if I were to try to reapply with them again.
In Oshkosh, Takiono, Action 2 News.
The job fair continues tomorrow at the Oshkosh City Center Hotel and Convention Center. The fair starts at 9 a.m. and goes until 5 p.m. Defiance today from Muammar Gaddafi's son. Speaking with Christian Amanpour on ABC's This Week, one of Gaddafi's sons and political advisors says he and his family are standing their ground.
What's your father's plan? Is he staying? Is he going?
Listen, nobody is leaving this country. We live here, we die here. This is our country.
The interview comes one day after President Obama said Gaddafi should step down as the leader of Libya.
President Obama has called on your father to step down. What do you think about that?
First of all, it's not an American business. That's number one. Second, do you think this is a solution? Of course not.
Meanwhile, anti-government rebels have taken control of a town near Gaddafi's stronghold of Tripoli. The rebel forces have deployed tanks and anti-aircraft weapons as they brace for an attack from Gaddafi's troops. Gaddafi's son claims his father's government has not used force on civilians. Well, as investors react to the ongoing unrest in Libya, oil prices continue to climb. Within the past week, they've gone up more than 9%. Now, that means prices at the pump are likely to keep climbing as well.
Every president since Richard Nixon has been saying we need to break our dependence on oil and start moving toward cleaner, more sustainable fuels.
But
we need to do it. We haven't done it.
We have to import foreign oil because even though we're a large producer, we're the largest consumer. We consume about 19 to 20 million barrels a day.
And those price hikes are being felt here in northeast Wisconsin, where the average gallon of gas now rings in at $3.29. Jeff Alexander has more on what the rising costs mean for local businesses.
The rising cost of getting here and there is already being felt.
60 days ago, fuel was 50 cents cheaper. Well, that's a big difference.
Jesse Judas is general manager at Best Enterprises, a De Pere area trucking firm that has 12 semis on the road between Milwaukee and Marinette. When he hears energy experts predicting $4 to $5 fuel by summer,
wow,
he says the impact will be tremendous.
We're roughly about 100,000 gallons of fuel a year, so for every 5 cents that fuel changes annually, that's $5,000 just on a 5-cent change. So, you know, $5 fuel would be a substantial hit.
Judas says most trucking companies are already adding fuel surcharges eventually passed on to consumers.
You're going to start noticing it faster in the grocery stores and on the shelves of everything else. It's, you know, it's going to go up pretty fast if it's keep going up as fast as it has been.
At the gas pump, drivers say rising prices are the last thing people need right now.
And then we're looking at possible tax increases on, you know, property taxes and things like that. And that's a bad spiral we're in right now.
Station owners say wholesale prices show no signs of slowing down.
Our retail price currently is what we're buying it for today. So there's a lot of pressure on the retail prices to go up. Expect to be hiding out more in the back room in the next few days to avoid being hollered at.
Jeff Alexander, Action 2 News, De Pere.
A 25-year-old Escanaba man is in jail tonight following a high-speed chase in De Pere. Just after 10:40 last night, officers were called about a suspicious vehicle at the Walmart on Lawrence Drive. Police say when they arrived, the vehicle took off. They followed it onto Highway 41, where it reached speeds of 80 to 100 miles per hour. Officers lost track of the car on Highway 41 near Velth Avenue. They say a passenger in the vehicle later called Green Bay police to turn himself in. That passenger was taken into custody and released, but the driver remains in the Brown County Jail. Escanaba police say the vehicle used in the chase had been reported as stolen. Well, there were 10 nominees for Best Picture at the 83rd Academy Awards, but only one took home the title. Which film won top honors and other Oscar highlights when Action 2 News at 10 continues.
Well, tonight's the night. That storm we've been talking about for days, passing by to our south. And notice it actually has two types of weather, some wintry weather and also some summery weather with some showers and storms. A lot of storms, in fact, tonight. 64 reports of severe weather, including 2 tornadoes in Kansas. Still a couple of tornado watches in effect to the far south, and also some winter weather advisories, including southeastern Wisconsin. We'll talk a little bit more about this storm and our next storm right around the corner. Details coming up with Pinpoint Predictors. Action 2 News continues.
Action 2 News brought to you by the Todd Weiss Home Selling System. Your home sold guaranteed or we'll buy it. Call 406-0001.
Hi, I'm Todd Weiss. When you take advantage of my guaranteed sale program, I guarantee to sell your house quickly and at a price acceptable to you, or I'll step in and buy it myself. My guaranteed sale program offers flexible commissions and is 100% risk-free. If you're not happy, fire me. I think you'll be happy because I outsell the average realtor by more than 40 to 1. I'm not bragging. I'm applying for a job. Call 406-0001. Start packing.
When you shop, you can save a minimum or a maximum amount. Now through Tuesday at Ashley Furniture Home Store. Save to the max, plus deduct the tax, store-wide. While supplies last, get this 5-piece dining set, now just $2.99. This Beauty Rest Queen set is only $3.99. And this sofa, now $3.99. Plus, no tax. Save to the max, plus deduct the tax, store-wide. It's through Tuesday only at Ashley Furniture Home Store.
At Menominee Casino, I come here to meet people, have fun, and I win.
When I come to the Menominee Casino, I have a great time here. I meet a lot of great brand new people, and I see old friends as well, and I win.
I see a lot of familiar faces here, a lot of old friends, and meet some new people here.
Did I mention I win?
Menominee Casino. It's easy to get here, and it's hard to leave.
Menominee Casino Resort, where winning comes naturally and often.
Dare to compare the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin, Chevy. Compare gas mileage. Chevy Malibu gets 33 miles per gallon. That's more than Toyota Camry. Compare warranty. Malibu comes with a 100,000-mile 5-year warranty. Ford and Toyota just can't match it. Right now, current GM owners and lessees can get an additional $500 auto show bonus for up to $4,000 cash back on Chevy Malibu. See your Northeast Wisconsin Chevy super dealer.
Alrighty, here are your weather headlines for this work week. A close call with that winter storm tonight. Most of us should be okay. However, later in the week, we're going to have another round of messy weather, and that looks like a pretty good chance for snow and/or rain and/or freezing rain. More on that in just a few moments. Otherwise, here's Snow Tracker. Here's what's going on. We're focused in on southern Wisconsin. The white areas, of course, is snow. That includes just to the south of Fond du Lac County. Some very light snow there, but heavier snow just to the west and southwest of Milwaukee right now. Also some pink. That is freezing rain mixing in with some of the snow along with some sleet from Milwaukee now into Racine and Kenosha counties and continuing westward along the Wisconsin-Illinois border. But again, the bulk of the storm should stay just to our south. Now, some of you to the far south in the viewing area might get a little bit of snow, especially Marquette, Green Lake, Fond du Lac, Sheboygan County. Maybe you get a dusting out of this at best, but that's probably going to be about it. And elsewhere, although there's nothing showing up on radar, we might have a few stray flurries there somewhere north of Green Bay. Otherwise, our skies across the region are mostly cloudy at this hour. But again, here's the big view on this storm. And as we showed you before the break, A lot of showers, a lot of thunderstorms, a lot of severe weather, so you can almost see a little bit of a change in season here as we wind down the month of February as the severe weather starts to push gradually northward. But again, a close call on this storm. It's been a real nail-biter from a forecasting perspective, but it looks like the bulk of it should miss us, so I think we'll be okay there. Here's Predictor. We'll pick it up at midnight, and again, you can see a pretty good handle on that precipitation to the south. Continuing through the overnight hours will take you up to about 2 a.m. and maybe a little bit of snow shower activity there just to the west of Appleton as well. No big deal if it happens. The steadier, heavier snows will be deep south, Madison, Milwaukee. In fact, especially west of Milwaukee towards Madison, there could even be at least a couple of inches in accumulation there. There you are at 2:30 in the morning. Again, Fond du Lac, Sheboygan counties, maybe a little bit of light snow there. Otherwise, freezing rain continuing there. But notice this whole batch of precipitation really moves quickly eastward. By about 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, it has exited southeastern Wisconsin. So again, a very close call, but we should be okay. For extreme southeastern Wisconsin, there are a few counties there that are in that winter weather advisory, but no other advisories really expected north of Milwaukee tonight. But I do need to point this out. If you're going to be traveling early tomorrow morning southward, especially south of Fond du Lac and Sheboygan, towards Madison, towards Milwaukee, towards Chicago. Remember, overnight, there's going to be that snow, a little bit of freezing rain, and some freezing drizzle and some sleet. So I suspect that roads will be, treated by then. If you're heading out, say, after 7 or 8 in the morning, you're probably going to be okay. But keep on your toes because some slipperiness might continue there. Otherwise, getting back to here in northeastern Wisconsin, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, some early morning clouds. They don't hang around very long, and then the clouds start to diminish, and across the area, we'll see ample sunshine returning as the day wears on. Your high temperatures tomorrow should be right around 30, give or take a few degrees in either direction, but you will have a little bit of a biting wind there, right around 10 to maybe 18 miles per hour, so it will feel just a little bit colder there. All right, let's take a look at Tuesday. A great day. Breezy, but a south wind should bring your temperatures into the upper 30s, so a little bit of a melt there. Maybe a few afternoon flurries, but before that happens, you'll enjoy a good sunny start to Tuesday. Wednesday looks like a decently sunny day, but cooler once again, back down to 25. And then later on Thursday, mainly late afternoon, especially by Thursday night into Friday, the next storm, which looks a little bit further north and actually looks like a better chance for some snow and or rain and or freezing rain here. So we'll mark that on your severe winter weather outlook there. Thursday, Friday, we might have to upgrade that, and we'll keep you posted. Otherwise, right now, 23 in Appleton, 26 at Oshkosh, Manitowoc, you're at 27. Looks like Marinette at 19, one of the cooler readings around. Otherwise, officially 21 at the National Weather Service in Green Bay, and the air is calm. All right, from Storm Center 2, here are the details on your forecast for tonight. It'll be mostly cloudy, some scattered flurries north of Green Bay, and some of you to the far south could have just a few scattered light snow showers. No big deal there. Nighttime lows tonight mostly in the teens. Turning partly sunny tomorrow.